Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino. We're drinking a beer. Today's beer is from Rebellion Brewing Company. This is a beer that's no longer in production. It was purchased at Sobeys Liquor in their random singles area. It was canned over a year ago, but not too much over a year ago. Today is January 18th, and this was canned January 5th of 2024. It's January 18th of 2025. So we're looking at just over a year. But this is Saskatchewan's Outback Hemp beer. So we have the usual Be a Good Wingman. It is 4.5% alcohol by volume. It says explore lakes, rivers, and forests. Be a rebel. Drink great beer, made with hemp from Carrot River, Saskatchewan. Artwork by David Flamen. I don't even know if you really needed somebody to do artwork. You could have taken pictures of the Northern Lights looking like that in a lot of places in Saskatchewan. But hey, it's nice that you use local artists for things. Very much akin to, say, Collective Arts and some other breweries out there. Two people on my friends list have tapped this in with marks, and they've given a 3.38 out of 5. 270 people in total with a 3.58 out of 5. Brewed with toasted hemp seeds. Okay, see, because it said made with hemp. So I figured it was hemp seeds, but you didn't know for sure because it didn't tell you. But here it tells you, so brewed with toasted hemp seeds from Carrot River, Saskatchewan, also known as Saskatchewan's Outback. We have Bitsy giving it a 3.75 out of 5. Made with toasted hemp seeds from about 80 kilometers up the road in Carrot River, Saskatchewan. Has a floral quality with a dry finish. Carrot River's only 80 kilometers away from Regina. I did not know that. And John F. And he bought this at Label Thief Brewing Inc. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And he gave it a 3. He says he purchased it. Okay, he tagged some friends and stuff. Yeah. So there we go. That's all the information I have on it. Now, we've had hemp beer before on the channel. Most notably the Cool Hemp beer from Cool Brewing Company. And Timothy, the Honey Monster, myself, and a few others had a lot of derogatory things to say about that beer. That beer was made when the idea of hemp was basically the idea most people had of hemp was that hemp was the same as weed, as marijuana. I mean, they are the same family. They are different plants, same family. One has a lot of THC in it. One does not. So one's used to make rope. One's used to make you high. One can be used to make cloth. One can be used to make you high. So at the time, it was basically being used to pander to a generation. And it was the generation younger than us who were just getting into the drinking age, and we're like, look, it has a pot leaf on it, because that's what they put on it. They put a pot leaf on it. They were like, look, it has a pot leaf on it. It's amazing. Let's buy the pot beer. Well, hemp beer wasn't pot beer, and it wasn't usually the leaves being used. It was usually the seeds. What it should do to the beer, it should add possibly, and because they're toasted, even more so, possibly a darker color, a little more body, a little more heft, and a slight nuttiness is what you should get off of it. It should almost make it taste sort of like a nut brown ale. So that's what I'm looking for in this. I've grown up a lot. I smoke pot. I do have some hemp clothes. I have some hemp ropes. Not because I need to support hemp, but because sometimes they're cheaper and sometimes they're better for what I'm doing with them. But I smoke it to sleep. It's my medicine. My prescribed sleep aid. So you know what? I would still make fun of you if you had a big pot leaf on here and you were trying to sell it to people that thought that hemp and pot were the same thing, I'd still make fun of you. These guys aren't. I really do like the art on this. They do have the leaf symbol here, but I mean, the leaves are not entirely different. They're different, but they're not entirely different. The plants are different, albeit not entirely different. And I mean, it's a good. I don't know if you guys have ate hemp hearts or anything. They can be a nice treat. I was kind of expecting that to explode, being due to its age and everything else. I was sort of anticipating an explosion. I'll be honest, I did not expect that much head, and when I saw the head forming while I was pouring it properly, I decided to just stop pouring it properly. It does have some haze to it. I mean, it has some haze to it. Big, thick, creamy head. There is a snap, crackle, pop, so it will go away. The head is slightly off-white. It's not as white as it could be. That is a brassy color. Looks good on this table, doesn't it, though? Doesn't it look good on the table? Oh, yeah, it does. It really, really does. It really, really, really does. I should cut this table down and make it smaller. That's what I should do. I should make 2 tables out of it. Probably be a good idea to make 2 tables out of it. Then I could have a little review table down here. I could have a little dinner table upstairs. Could be a good time. The head is not really fading at all. It's a sticking around. Let's give her a sniff from the can first. Interesting. Slight bit of caramel. Slight bit of roast. Slight almost potpourri note to it. Caramel, roastiness, a little bit of potpourri. And something I can't put my finger on. Now, it's been a while since I've had hemp hearts, hemp seeds, all that type of stuff. I used to buy hemp seeds all the time. There was a hemp seed roastery in the Niagara region. I believe his name was Johan was the man that did it, and he had all these different flavors. I can't even remember the name of his company anymore, but he would be at the different beer festivals. He would come to my beer festival and a few other people's beer festivals, and I would always support him and buy some, and I would eat them. They were high in protein. They were high in a lot of different. They were high in fiber. They were nice, and they were good flavors. So I would always support him and buy some stuff. And after I stopped putting on the beer festivals because he wasn't around, I kind of stopped having hemp seeds. And again, I know I can get them. I can get like the Manitoba hemp and all that, because there is a few companies that do make them commercially in grocery stores, but I haven't brought myself to buying any since then. I mean, I think I really loved his, and I loved how many you got for the price too. Like, they weren't cheap, but the bags looked small, but you could be eating hemp seeds for days, and it was nice. Scent from the glass. Kind of basically the exact same as the can. The head is thick. It's creamy. It's making interesting islands and stuff. Like this one here is an intriguing piece of head. Um, the head even has some viscosity to it because it's making the meniscus. It's not it's look, it's over the edge of the glass. It's like icebergs of head. Um, I know people who are my bosses sometimes watch this, so I shouldn't say what that looks like to me because it just proves how dirty of an old man I am. Cheers, let's try it. Haziness, nice color. It's what I expected. You know what? Kind of what I expected out of that. Yeah, there's a nuttiness to it that's it's got like some. Now I'm going to say this, and it's going to make some people go, "Oh, it has an off flavor." The people that are really big into brewing, but it's not the off flavor movie theater butter. It's butterscotch. It's like it's almost Werther's original. Um, so like butterscotch and caramel together, and the butterscotch can actually sometimes come from hemp seeds. So I actually kind of like that. There is a little bit of a roastiness in there. There's a nuttiness. It's like you took a handful of mixed nuts. I'm not going to say it's obviously cashews or this or that, but it's just a nuttiness. It's like you took a handful of almonds, cashews, peanuts, I don't know, Brazil nuts, one of those like planters mixed things, and you took them all and you threw them in your mouth, and you're getting that creamy, buttery, nutty, kind of dry at the same time flavor profile that those nuts will give off. Um, my nuts give off a different profile. That is a really nice drinking beer. And it's probably the best hemp beer I've ever had. Now, that being said, there's only been maybe 5 or 6 hemp beers I've had before this one. The only one that and the only one that comes to mind is the one I hated, which was the Cool Buzz beer. And I mean, when we hated on it, it wasn't necessarily about the flavor, though I think we disliked the flavor mostly because of all the marketing. Um, because I've had Buzz since then. Buzz still isn't my favorite thing, but Buzz is not nearly as bad as I remembered it being. And again, I think I hated on Buzz because of the marketing that they were trying to go for and everything else. This one, being that this can is not going for that, the tiniest bit of stuff about hemp is over here. And I mean, yeah, it says hemp beer up here, but like I think I can get behind the idea of this beer. I think I can get behind the idea of this beer. That being said, what I can't get behind is that in these private industries of bottle shops that we have beer sitting on the shelf for more than a year and we still have it on the shelf. And I get it, the breweries don't want to go and take it off the shelves and lose money off of it. But how about this? Maybe, just maybe, as a brewery, we should ask the bottle shops to sell our beer as singles instead of 4 packs. It'll make more money for the bottle shops. It'll move your beer faster. Again, we've gone through this. We've gone through why it moves faster. There's been hundreds of people that have talked about it, about how it would move faster because you have more people willing to try something different if they only have to buy one. And then they might really like it and buy more than one the next time or buy another one while they're buying other stuff they want to try. But instead, we're forcing all these 4 packs, and these 4 packs are fine and dandy, sure, but they're 16, 17, 18, $24 for some of them. Who's buying that on a beer they're not sure of yet? Like, I don't get. And then you wonder why stuff sits on the shelves and people are only buying what they know. They're buying what they know because they know whether or not they like it, and they don't have to waste a few hours or of working days for those 4 beers, because they're probably going to drink all 4 of them at once. Like, if they're buying them for the hockey game or something, they're drinking the 4 beer. So they buy a $24 4-pack that they don't like. Now they're fucking stuck with 3 other beers they didn't like. They got to mix and match at the store, even at the store. And I mean, you could do it where, like, say this one was $16 for the 4-pack. So then instead of which is $4 per can, you could do like $4.25 per can as singles, make a little bit of extra money, but somebody's still only going to spend like $17 or $18 on their 4-pack, and they get 3. I don't understand why this is such a hard concept. And I found out that it isn't legally mandated, so I don't understand. Oh. But then you walk in, you buy a beer that's over a year old at full price. Or you go to a brewery and buy a beer from them that's 18 months old because they just broke it out of an 8-pack and now they're trying to sell them as singles, but it's 18 months old. Like, I'm ranting now. I like the beer. Like I said, best hemp beer I've ever had. Kind of reminds me of some of the background flavors of a barrel aged beer. Like, you get that butterscotch, you get a nuttiness, you get an almost toasted oak in there, and there's no oak in there, but a hemp seed is just so woody and nutty and nice, and then you toast it and it's giving off other flavors too, and it's such a nice addition when it's used properly and it's not just used to pander a marketing scheme. Oh, I like this beer. Out of 10, that's getting an 8.25. If this was still in production, I would buy it again. Thank you, guys. Saskatchewan's Outback hemp beer. Can I get up? Oh, fuck, my ass fell asleep there. Bye, guys.